Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to episode 108 of The Game Changers. I am your host, Carla, and tonight I'm turning up the heat with the brilliant Chris Lapage. Chris doesn't just know the game, he reads the plays before they happen, and we are about to pull back the curtain on the game behind the game. Big love for the TSA team for fueling this mission of amplifying voices and sparking ideas. This show exists because of visionaries like them and listeners like you. If you want fantasy football gold, perspective shifting stories, or a fresh way to see the world, you are in the right place. The Game Changers isn't just a podcast, it's a movement. Let's get into it. Who is Chris Lapage? Today's guests bring nearly 2 decades of passion, strategy, and competitive fire to the fantasy football world. Chris started his journey back in 2006 while serving in the US Navy, where friendly rivalry and sharp game planning quickly became part of the weekly routine. His approach leveled up in 2012 after attending Detroit Lions camp with the fantasy nobody, Jeff Crisp. From there, Chris helped build highly competitive home leagues and expanded into deeper year round formats that pushed his analytical style even further. By 2024, he was competing nationally, taking first place in the ITP division at Draft Night Out during the Fantasy Football Expo. In 2025, he joined the Fantasy Now Plus team, contributing written analysis before stepping into podcasting and live breakdowns. That same year, he entered Scott Bowl 15, drafting live in Cincinnati through Fantasy Care's board member John Bosch. He secured a playoff spot in one of the toughest fields out there and also supported the SFB 15 live draft in Detroit alongside Jeff Crisp. Recently, Chris has stepped back from live shows while recovering from biceps tendon surgery and navigating a major career transition. But his passion for fantasy football, community, and deep dive analysis hasn't slowed down. Please help me welcome a competitor, a builder, and a true student of the game, Chris Lapage. Chris, how are you tonight?
I don't know if I could be any better after that introduction. That was great. That was great. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course, you
I'll have to live
deserve
up to
it.
that through this podcast.
Whoop whoop. First of all, thank you for your service. I appreciate that. I didn't know that you served, but we appreciate your service and thank you for doing this. So tell me, what's the fantasy move you are the most proudest in your entire career?
The fantasy move I was most oh man. Well, I made a trade and I traded Devonta Freeman for it it seems crazy now, but um it was for Steven Jackson, and it turned out I it won me a league, and Devonta Freeman took off. It was the end of Steven Jackson's career,
Ooh,
and I couldn't believe it. Um, but that was probably my best trade I've ever made as far
wow,
as moves.
that's crazy. Before the show, I saw something like dropping on you. Can we see that? And
Oh,
can you tell us a little bit about it?
well, it's kind of heavy. It's kind of heavy. So
I'm
this
I'm
is
fine. I'm coming to get it.
This is from Draft Night Out. I won this the first year I was there in 2024.
That's
Those
crazy.
guys are awesome. They also they put in oops, the ring. I don't know if you can see it or not, but this thing it's awesome. It's sweet. I have to relinquish it this year and give it back, but I don't want to, but I'll be there and I'll give it back to the guy who won this year. I actually played against JC from you
Oh,
guys the first year, so I got 4 people
listen,
under my
send it to me
belt.
and tell them you lost it.
Okay, all right. I'll just hand it to you because you're gonna be down there too, right?
I appreciate that. Thank you, Chris. That's a really amazing piece of art. Seriously, I love the stuff. Tell me, what's the one decision that still haunts you years later?
I traded for the 101, um, and I ended up taking Clyde Edwards-Helaire over Jonathan Taylor by pure I fed into the hype and it was bad, and I will never ever not research a running back like that again. Um, I should have stuck with my gut, but Jonathan Taylor vastly outperformed CEH as time told.
Wow.
It was
Tell me,
bad.
who is the most ride or die player you've ever drafted?
This year, it might be Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson, he was on fire. I really loved that until he got hurt, and that was just yeah. Um, it was bad. This is his first year not making 1,000 yards. It looks like Drake London is actually the cream of the crop for those guys in that draft class. So
Wow.
that was a bad ride or die this year for Garrett Wilson.
Whew. That's this year the game has been a real game changer. Who knew the Patriots will make it till the end? Like, who knew? What's your team, Chris?
Oh, it's the Lions. I'm a huge Lions fan, but my AFC team, a lot of people don't know, but it's the Raiders. I've always loved the
Oh,
Raiders, even
nice.
when they were in Oakland. I love them now that they're in Vegas. My best friend in the whole world, he's actually a DJ in Vegas, and we hang out. And he's he's a 6'4", very athletic looking guy, and wherever we go, they think that he's part of the team. So it's kind of fun. It's fun to mess with people and do stuff like that. But but the Lions they're my ride or die for sure.
Yes, 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 Micheline. Go Patriots! I live in I live in New England, so even though I'm a KC fan, but I'm rooting for the Patriots this year. I am. And everybody is saying hi to you, Chris. And we're seeing a lot of comments right now. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. Drop these comments, drop any questions you want to ask Chris, and I'll make sure I will ask him at time. Hey, Amber, how are you tonight? Thank you for being on the show. Chris, let's continue and I want to ask you, which position do people overthink the most when they are like trying to pick for their fantasy football teams um and what do you think, in your opinion, which position do people overthink the most?
Well, depending on the league, if you're going with Superflex, people overthink it and they start taking players that are not going to produce like the quarterbacks. Those the quarterbacks that are going to run are elite. You need to grab them in the first round. No questions asked. There's only a couple guys that can outscore and be like that in a year, and they're not going to be whatever your number two quarterback is. So for two quarterback leagues, you have to get a quarterback in the first and or second round. If you don't, you're pretty toast. For IDP, a lot of people they tend to overdraft defensive ends and outside linebackers. Now, I granted Micah Parsons got hurt. There was a lot of injured guys, but a year before Hutchinson got hurt. But those guys are not going to produce like maybe a Jerry Judy did the year prior. I mean, he was the top 10 wide receiver, and he went way after these guys. You want to take out some skill players and just let IDP fall where it may. You can piece together a pretty good IDP team from the waiver wire.
Who's your all-time favorite IDP player?
All time oh, that Max Crosby. I got his jersey behind me. I've got it signed. I love him. Like I said, I'm a Raiders fan, and I hope he comes back home. I hope he comes to Detroit. I can't wait. He just bought a bunch of property up here, about $35 million worth of real estate in the Detroit area. This is where he's from.
Really?
So I hope he comes here. That'd be awesome.
That's crazy. I love that. What's your philosophy on stacking QB and WR?
I love it, especially. Well, I tried to do it this year, but it didn't work out with Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson. Um, and if you have a less ambiguous wide receiver core, if you've got a guy that you know is going to get all the balls, Burrow and Chase, Mahomes and whoever. I mean, it used to be Kelsey, but we don't know anymore. I do like to stack the top tier quarterbacks with the top tier tight ends as well. I think it's a underrated move.
So I heard that someone might be replacing Mahomes. Who do you think is going to replace Mahomes, especially that now he's doing the surgery and everything? Do you think that whoever is replacing him is he's going to lead KC to some place next year?
I mean, who do you replace him with? You bring in a guy for a year and you hope for the best, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these guys that the Sam Darnolds of the world that come in and now he's in the Super Bowl. So they could luck out. They could get a guy pretty cheap. I don't think it's going to be a rookie. Uh, I
No.
would look I would look towards maybe Joe Flacco if he plays another year. I mean, he's in the Pro Bowl the other day. Um, I could see something like that, like a Band-Aid for half the year, just to get him through uh, to the playoffs. Yeah, rental QB exactly.
Rental QB.
Yep,
No one is
that's
replacing Mahomes. So Doug is saying no one is replacing
no,
Mahomes. Well, we're hearing
no.
some stuff because he's having a surgery. So I heard from the Dolphins that he might replace him at this point when before he comes back. Kirk
You think
Cousin,
Tua
that's
is
a
going to
good
come
one
over?
too. Who?
You think Tua is going to come over from the Dolphins?
That's yeah.
Okay.
It's that's a rumor that's going around that Tua is going to replace him at this point, so he can get back on his feet per se. So it's a rumor going around. For you, Chris, NFL takes and player talk. Which current NFL player is the biggest fantasy cheat code for you? Michael Jones, a bad source.
No, no, it was honestly the past couple of years it's been Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's been criminally underdrafted, and he's been a wide receiver one um, eh, wherever he goes. I don't normally pick in the top 3 or 4 picks, so he's one of my guys that I'm targeting in the late to the first round. If I can't get a running back for seasonal leagues,
Yeah.
but that's a cheat because he's on my team. He's a Lion, so
I mean, that's a cheat code for you. So, everybody like Doug is telling me that I'm stirring. I'm stirring the pot at some point. Well, I do that a lot. Do you agree with that, Chris? Do I do that?
Well, that's why we watch you. You know, hey, it's fun. I'm here for it. You can stir it as much as you want. We'll see. We'll see at the
I
end.
love that. I love that. Um, with everything that happened this year with the teams, who you think which team was the hardest to predict?
Well, I mean, you're looking at it, right? Kansas City. Kansas
Yeah,
City. I did not see. I didn't see that. We talked about it a little bit before the show. New England. New England. They really surprised a lot of teams. I didn't think that they were going to make it
me
in
neither.
this deep to the playoffs. And then you got the Bills, who sorely underperformed, and now they are, their coach is gone. Which man, there was a lot of coach firings this year that I didn't agree with, but
I didn't agree with that either.
dog eat dog world.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get it. Like, I don't get why you're kicking the coach out. I mean, they've been with that team forever, and they took that team to a lot of like good games. For one game to kick them out, it's crazy for me. It's just crazy. So Doug is asking, what do you think about the new OC hire, Drew Petzing?
Well, if you look at his media days, he's got a big mouth on him. If he can walk what he's talking, it sounds like he's going to be a pretty good hire.
Yeah.
But what he did with Kyler Murray last year, obviously he was hurt, and then Connor got hurt. It was. I'm not sold on what he did the year before that either. He was trending in the right direction. They are going to be a good offense. They are going to replenish the offensive line. I don't think a lot of people saw Ragnow retiring right before the season, after the draft even, and they had some bad weeks where they've had the injury bug the last 2 years pretty bad along the offensive and defensive lines. But if they can keep their skill position players healthy, Goff will succeed with Petzig at the helm. Ugh. It
Every
doesn't
single
feel good.
year.
It doesn't feel good to say, but I think Petzig will, with the players that he has, will be very successful with the Lions.
That's that's awesome. Every single year they say you were talking about injuries. Every single year they say, "Oh, this year has been a lot of injuries." But I do believe this year it has been like an eye opener to everybody. How did your teams do in fantasy sports this year? Talking about injuries, talking about everything. Did you make up the play at some point, or you were kicked out?
I didn't make it to any finals this year.
Oh,
All of my teams were either bounced just before the finals, or they they just didn't perform. And you're right. A lot of the big names,
yeah,
first week, or not first week, or Joe Burrow. I mean, right away,
yeah,
out, and you've got guys like JJ McCarthy, couldn't stay healthy, couldn't stay on the field, so nobody really knows what he was, and all these quarterbacks that were really hurt, or they were nursing injuries from the preseason. It was bad. A lot of the star players got hurt, and it really took a toll on some of my teams.
yeah. I agree with you.
CeeDee Lamb.
Everybody was hurting. Everybody this year was hurting. It was
Mm.
insane. Um, let's go a little bit with your personal journey and storytelling about you. What's the moment you realized fantasy football was more than a hobby?
when when my friend Jeff Crisp and I, when we went down to the 2012 camp. We went to go see Matt Stafford. Um, Back then, it was Jeff Backus. He was the biggest man I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
He was twice as large in person. But when we were on our way home, we said, you know what? I'm tired of fantasy leagues just folding after a year or two or blah blah blah. And we spent about 2 to 3 weeks trying to figure out how we were gonna make this league survive, and it's still surviving right now. We're actually expanding to 2 more teams,
Nice.
and um, we've had a good group of guys that have been together for this long. It's I've only won it. Jeff likes to say it was 2.5 times because of the Damar Hamlin debacle. I was in the championship game, and we had it the call of the game. It was early, so my friend Tyler and I we split it.
That's
That's we
nice.
just thought
That.
it was the fun way, but that when I was taking time out of my workday to talk to Jeff and and figure this stuff out, that's when I realized that it's probably a little bit more than a hobby.
Nice. I love it. So we have a question from Pete. He's asking, what does Pudge think the final score of the Super Bowl will be? And should he bet the over?
Oh, what is the over right now? Um, I don't know what they have
I
it
don't have
at.
a clue. What's the
I can look
over,
it up.
Pete?
Throw that in there, Pete. But I think it's going to be, man, 21-24. I think it's going to be close. 21
Really?
24 Patriots.
Wow. So I told Doug, if the score is low, I will go definitely for the Patriots win. If the score is going high, there's no way the Patriots will win. Do you agree with that?
I like Drake May. It's tough to go to bet against them, and they haven't been using Travion Henderson very much. Um, they might they might actually unleash him this game. I think he only played 4 or 5 snaps last game, and they have been 44. So there you go. I'd bet the over there, 45 and a half. Um, I I
Never.
no.
Right?
Um,
I'm never wrong. Even if I'm wrong, I'm right.
that's what I tell my girlfriend all the time.
See? See?
A- And I
See? Learn, Doug. Yes, go ahead,
it's
please.
better that way. Life is much
Yes.
better that way. But I like Travion Henderson to actually to get some touches out in space, very much like Jameer Gibbs. Not, I mean, obviously he's not Jameer Gibbs. There's only one of those, but I would love for him to be unleashed in the Super Bowl, and I think it's going to happen.
Well, you never know. You never know. Like we thought like stuff are going to happen and they didn't happen with these games this year, and things are going to happen and they never did. So it was the ugly truth this year. Like the best
Yeah.
teams, they didn't even make it to the finale. It was an eye opener, seriously. Um Chris, tell me, what's the funniest thing that's ever happened during a draft?
Well, um, during a draft, live drafts are pretty fun. I love them. I would do a live draft over anything else. I mean, obviously, I went to Cincinnati to go do a live draft for Scott Fish. But the funniest thing that's ever happened was we had a place that was a local place, and none of the TVs worked.
Ooh,
We went there, tried to get everything going, and whatever we hooked up to, the TVs were just not working. And it gave Jeff and I a very sour taste in our mouth. That was actually the second year that we had actually had that league that I was talking about. Um, and it was a reminder that if we didn't test the place out either a few hours before or something like that, then we were setting ourselves up for failure.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was bad. We
Oh
didn't
my
have any
God.
stickers, and this is back in the day, so it was a crap show.
But you
I'll
survived it.
keep it PG. Yeah,
I'll keep it PG. Tell
yeah.
me, are you going this year to the expo?
Oh yeah, yep. I'll be there. I'll be in the draft night out this year as well. Hopefully, we get some more guys from the FN Plus team. I know we have a few guys in the Midwest that would like to go. I know the expo is going to be earlier this year.
Yes.
It's going to be in July instead of August. So that will have a lot to do with a lot of people being able to either make it or not make it. But Jeff and I will be there. We love it. This will be my third year with Jeff.
Nice.
We've had a blast every year. The first night kicking it off in the park and just hanging out with everybody. Um, Andrew, all those guys, would love them. It's fun
Oh,
to hang out. Yeah.
it's really fun. It's really this is going to be my fifth year, so I'm so excited about it as well. I get to see everybody that I get to talk to them live and connect with them face to face. It's totally a different perspective when you connect with someone face to face. And I enjoy like talking to you guys, learning about your history and your stories. So I really cannot wait for this year expo as well. We're gonna see how it's going to be having it like a little earlier. So we will see what's
That's
gonna
what
happen.
led to this podcast. That's how I met you.
Yes.
You, you pulled me aside live, and we had a conversation. I was on the podcast. I had seen you plenty of times before, and I know some of the sports affiliation guys, and I was kind of like, okay, sure. And that's what that's how this all began down at the
Yes.
expo.
I love that. I love going to the expo, and I started the live podcast not next last year, the year before. So it was my second year going live from the expo, and this year is gonna be my third year going live. It was a great experience to get the people that we never talked to talk to them like face to face instead of behind the camera. It was really an amazing experience for me personally. So yeah, thank you for coming and talking to me at the expo as well. I appreciate
Oh,
that,
heck yeah.
Chris. Did you ever had any heated argument when you were in a league? And what was that argument about?
We still talk about it till this day.
Ooh,
My friend Chris and
spill the
I,
tea.
he, he's a good dude. I had never met him until this year. He was invited into our auction league, and he did one of the. He says he doesn't. He says that he did this not on purpose, but we all know, wink, wink, that he did it. He put Jimmy Graham up for bid, and I bid on him, and then he bid on him, and then I went to go bid on him again, and he bid $100 on him, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, this is the kind of way you want to play. I got it. And
Way
my friend
dirty.
Jeff, yeah, my friend Jeff, uh, he takes the other Chris's side to this day. But yeah, his name's Chris Fisher. He's a great guy. Uh, and Chris and I, we always have a joke whenever we see each other. We'll probably see each other this weekend, and we have a blast. But it's always a Jimmy Graham conversation, and Jeff ended up putting him on, taking his nomination off, and then renominating him, taking it away, and I still used my $101 just so I could get him, just to prove a
That's
point.
oh my God. No, I wouldn't like if you put something out there, don't bet on it. That's no, I'm against the other Chris. Chris, you're right. He's wrong. I'm sorry. I lean more to your story than the other one.
That
What?
yeah, the 100 on there, it's it's
Yeah,
it's not too far away from each other, so
that's
maybe, but I
crazy.
doubt it.
Wow.
So
I
yeah,
can't.
he tried to do a dirty bit on me.
Yeah. What's the most painful championship you've ever lost?
Mm, I've never been in a championship game and lost.
No?
No, I either don't make it or I'm gonna win it.
Wow.
It would have been the Damar Hamlin year, because I think I was not doing very well. Um, I had Jamar Chase, I think, still to play, and after that Bills game, after it shut down, I was pretty scared I was going to lose that game. But like I said, we split the championship, but that would have been it.
Oh, wow. Well, I want to have a shout out because I didn't see Gemma like forever. So Gemma is in the house. Welcome to Gemma tonight on the show as well. Chris, tell me what's the best part of competing on a national stage?
All the good minds. Like you get everybody together in Scott Fish.
Yeah.
The people, the one of the guys I drafted with actually is Pee Wee. And man, I wasn't exactly crazy about his draft, but he killed it this year. He absolutely knocked it out of the park. He was in the same division. He was in the same division as me
Ooh,
and the same league. I was getting toasted by this guy, and Pee Wee really killed it. And that's when the minds from everywhere come into play. Like you get so one sided, or you get a narrative of a certain player. I know this year it was Justin Fields. I swing and a miss on Justin Fields. It was one of those players that I thought was going to be sneaky, and I knew that the offensive coordinator coming over from the Lions loves running quarterbacks, so I thought it was going to be a very good pickup, and it didn't end up being so much. So that's where you get a little narrative play. You see, you have players that you like, your coaches, you
yeah,
know their tendencies, and then the coaches, the line coaches and things. I mean, not all fantasy players, not all GMs do, but if you're playing where we play, a lot of those guys, they know the coach behind the coach and what his tendencies are, and things like that. And it's just cool to see where they are as far as how they feel about a player. And it's so early in the year now. Uh, it'll be in July this year, and you'll get to see a lot of those top notch players,
yeah,
picking players that you didn't expect, for sure. And that's what's fun.
yeah. It is fun.
Seeing the diversity in some of these rosters.
I agree. What's the biggest lesson you learned from the Navy that applies to fantasy?
don't count your chickens before they're hatched. I have done a lot of victory laps, and
Y-
I like to talk a lot of smack. And I have been on the losing end of some of those.
Ooh,
So don't. It's not over until it's over, and
I
that's one of
agree.
the things I definitely learned in the Navy. Uh, when we're out there, it is it's not you're not done until you're back home.
I agree. 100%. I agree with you. Talking about community, what did Scott Fishbowl teach you about that community?
Well, it, it still gives you the fact that people are selfless in
Mhm.
certain ways. It's nice to know. It's nice to feel. It's nice to give back to the community. It's one of those things that make you feel good to see everybody participating in something, you know, as a charity. Those types of things are not always looked at in the best light because of whether it's they used to have Under Armour took over the Wounded Warrior project, and then everything went to Under Armour instead of the Wounded Warriors and stuff like that. This is something that actually gives back, and you see it. You know, those types of things are what make a community,
I
and they
love
bring us closer together.
100%. In my as you know, I am a Zumba instructor as well, and we do a lot of like events for wounded warriors. We do events to collect gift for Christmas for the the soldiers that they are overseas for their kids and families. So we do a lot of this stuff as well in here in Connecticut because we have a lot of soldiers here that they hold it to the heart. So we do a
Yeah.
lot of this stuff too. So I know what you're talking about. It's the best part that you can ever be um like surrounded with your community and helping that community.
I mean,
Um
we could play fantasy football, do
yes,
what we love to do, and still support our community. I mean, that's a win-win situation.
100%. I agree with you 100%. And I cannot wait. I can't wait for Scottfish to be in Connecticut. I can't wait. I'm like so excited for this opportunity as well to bring it here to Connecticut. What's the best part of being part of Fantasy Now Plus?
Fantasy Now Plus, so they just they just started in 2025, really
Yeah,
getting their ducks in a row. Uh, these guys are very, very bright. One of my favorite analysts is Will Ryan. He's down and dirty into the statistics. He's a very analytical guy, like I am. And then you've got guys like Josh Kimmel. He is very old school. He's not so much. He's more go flying from the hip. He's gonna shoot from the hip, and more often than not, he's pretty good. And then you've got Justin, and Justin, he is kind of like the glue that keeps all that chaos together. And it's fun to watch. I love working with those guys. I know it stunk for the last couple months not being able to do much, but now that I'm getting healed up, I can actually use my hand to type and get back to podcasting. It'll be fun. I can't wait.
I mean, you're hurt, and I'm glad you're getting better. And you need to take care of yourself first. That's what's the most important part. So you're saying that you're coming back to live podcasting?
Um, they I was on an IDP show. We used
Yeah.
to unveil it every Friday, and then I got hurt, and also my job. I had to switch jobs, and my schedule conflict was pretty bad.
Okay.
but they have some live shows still. A lot of it is some of it is pre-recorded, but
Okay.
I plan on doing some guesting with those guys. I talked to Josh and Justin earlier today, and I can't wait to get back to it. But I don't know if I'm going to have an actual show like last time, like Suds and Duds with Jeff and
Yeah.
but I plan on um, being a good cheerleader and being on as many podcasts as I can as they'll allow me.
I love that. So tell me, what's the hardest part stepping away from live podcasting?
Oh, I felt bad. I felt like I let the team down.
No, you
When
never
they
let them.
count on it's when they count on you, and you have to take a step back. I know a lot of people, they would reach out to me for my IDP picks of the week, things like that, and I couldn't type. So I could have dictated from my voice, but just didn't have the heart in it, and I won't put information out there that isn't 100% gone over or half thought through.
I agree with
It
you.
was it was tough to deal with, not being able to be out there, but
I
it
mean, you
it
wanted to be honest with yourself. So
yeah, and I
that's
didn't want
good.
to put out slow or half-hearted content. I believe the community, they'll they'll pick you apart if if you get your stats wrong, and rightfully so. You shouldn't be throwing those out there. So, but it's fun. And I really felt like I let them down. They obviously didn't feel that way. They were very supportive. So
I love that. They understand. They understand what you're going through. And I'm glad you're getting better. You're getting healed. And that's what's the most important thing right now, that you're getting back to what's supposed to be so you can move forward. Chris, everybody sometimes like sit and think, I am built for this. What's the moment that made you say, I am built for this?
when you look at the stats and you pick the stats out that you think are going to be the ones that are going to be repetitive,
Yeah,
and they are, and they end up you end up churning out players that you don't normally see in the mainstream. You get the diamonds in the rough. That's the fun part. That's the part that this makes me believe that I was built for it. As far as like podcasting and live stuff, I'm very introverted, kind of quiet when it comes to being out in public. So this was a giant step as far as being part of uh, the masses,
yeah.
for being on podcasts and YouTube and stuff like that. But it's been fun, and it made me step out of my comfort zone, and I love it.
Oh, thank you so much for being here then tonight. I really appreciate that. Now you make me more happy. What's the most rewarding part of helping others win?
And that's just it. Is when they come to you. I've had people at work and things like that. And when you can give them the why, if you can give them the why you're choosing this player over X player, why you're doing this, they like for IDP, if you're going against a team with a slow pace of play and the other GMs don't realize that, you put in a guy that normally you wouldn't throw in there for a Max Crosby, who's probably only going to get 40 some opportunities that game. So if he only gets 40 opportunities that game, he's not going to be too active. So you put in a guy um, that you normally wouldn't throw in there, and when you're right, it feels good. It feels really good.
I love it. I want to shout out to Ducky because it was his first time, his or her, I'm not sure, coming on the show last time. He followed us and he came again tonight. Yes, I remember you, Ducky. Thank you so much for being on the show. Chris, what's the biggest misconception people have about fantasy and analysts that you want to stop it tonight?
You don't have to watch the games. That's a big misconception. If you know how to look at the stats
Right?
and you can break it down, a lot of people they go off of, oh well, I've got to watch the game. I've got to get these. No, you don't. Um, a lot of the times I'll only watch certain parts of these games because I'll watch Red Zone. And a lot of these people, they feel like they have to spend hours and hours and hours watching this stuff. No, if you know the stats to look for, if you know what the other opponent is going to do via either their offense, defense, you know their play styles, you can choose your fantasy lineups pretty easy that way. Instead of having to go through uh, 14 hours on a Sunday and then, another Monday night game and then a game in London that you have to get up at 5 in the morning for on the West Coast. So
I
you
mean, I
don't
would
have to
go at
do
5 o'clock
things.
to watch it. I mean, I want to watch that in London, especially if it's Chiefs, Chris. Come on. But
Right.
I love your analysis. I love that you're saying because there's a lot of people that say, I watch every single day game. I don't think it's humanly possible to watch every single game. First of all, it's too much to watch every single game. But work smart, not hard. So
Yeah.
I love that concept. I love it so much. Um, let's go a little bit like funny, personality driven stuff and talk about if fantasy football had a Hall of Fame speech. What would your opening line be, Chris?
Ooh, if fantasy football had a Hall of Fame speech,
Just the
it would
opening. What do you
it would
think?
start out as all players are not created equal. That's for sure.
I'm not
Um,
paid equal. Oh,
all
God.
running backs are not created equal. Um, you can draft the number one guy, and he can still CMC you
Yes.
2024, 2025 to a loss, taking him first overall. A lot of people did, and barely played that year. But then look at this year, he killed it. So
Yes,
like I
I
said,
agree.
all fantasy players are not created equal.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, some quarterbacks they had their third, fourth quarterback after every single game. That that was an eye opener. I'm telling you this year. If you could create a new fantasy stat, what would it measure?
Ooh, that's pretty good. I like that one. If you could create a new fantasy stat, MFL has a lot of fantasy stats, so a lot of these that might be taken. But if you could go with how many touches per game, a certain, if you say wide receiver X gets thrown the ball, if it's a target, he gets the point. If he catches it or not, or a half point or whatever. But I know a lot of those platforms they don't take into account like a target as a point or anything like that because a lot of times when they're throwing the ball, it's it's not the best quarterbacking, a la Sam Darnold for the Jets.
Yeah. Do you agree with banning the tush push? If yes, why? If no, why?
I don't agree with banning the tush push. It's a play,
I
um,
agree.
and if you're gonna line up and say I'm bigger than you, I'm stronger than you, that's football to me. Um, I love that mentality of this is my ball. I'm going to move it half a yard, and you're not going to stop me. I'm going to tell you I'm going to do it, and you're still not going to stop me. Now that that I find different than like the pick plays that you see in the end zones with the wide receivers.
Yeah.
Um, those are more strategic, and I think they should be they shouldn't be allowed, especially after a couple Lions games this year. Um, but I like the tush push. I like
Yeah.
the idea behind it. If you can't stop it, that's on you. Just because you can't stop it doesn't mean
You need
it's
to ban.
not a good play. Yeah.
Why do you think other teams cannot like perform that tush push, even though it's like everywhere? Like you can see how the game is done. Why you think the other teams cannot just make it happen? It's
Have
just the
you
Eagles.
seen Jalen Hurts squat? I mean, he's got tree trunks for legs, and then you got Saquon behind him, who has even bigger legs and can squat even more. That's tough. That is tough. I mean, you don't have running backs built like that anymore.
Chris, do you
The
think they
Maurice
do Zumba?
Jones-Drews and what's that?
Do you think they do Zumba at some point, and that's why they
I
squat
think
like
they've gone to your class, haven't they? Isn't that how they got those big
100%?
quads?
100% yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought I saw them sneak in there one time.
I love this.
He stuck out like a sore thumb, but he was there.
Oh my God, I can't. I love it. If you could ban one phrase from fantasy Twitter, what would it be and why?
If I could ban the word generational talent, or I hate that. It seems like everybody says, "Well, this guy's a generational talent." Well, okay, but there's like 17 guys like that, and it's a different guy each year. So no, he's not. It- there's generational talents like Mahomes and Tom Brady, and guys like that. Those are called Hall of Famers. Just
Yeah,
stick to Hall of Fame. Future Hall of
I agree.
Famer, generational talent. I hate that term. It's overused.
I think they're giving like new like stuff, which is doesn't make sense sometimes. So I agree with you. Don't make up stuff. If you could mic up any player for a season, who would it be for Chris?
If I could mic up,
Any player.
it would definitely be Brian Branch. I love how he plays. All the stuff that goes on in the defensive backfields, all the smack that the wide receivers talk, and all that. I love it. I would love for a whole season of Brian Branch back there, especially how hard he hits. He reminds me a lot of
Yeah.
Bob Sanders. Um, and hopefully he's healthy at the beginning of next year, but we'll see. I love him. He's a great player.
Awesome.
I almost wore his jersey. So
Really?
yeah,
I love it. Tell me, you picked someone to make up with. How about to pick someone to babysit your kids? And why would you trust them to babysit your kids?
Gronkowski. I know he's retired, but he's like a giant kid himself. I can imagine that him and my son Damien could have a pretty good time together. Damien's 6, and
I love
then
it.
my daughter plays basketball, so I'm sure that she would love to play some basketball with Gronk.
I love that. I love that. Is any of your kids play fantasy football or not yet?
Not yet, but my daughter's been she wants to get a team together. She's my jock.
Come
She
on.
loves it. She wants to do it. I just have to find we'd have to find more people like that because I don't like going in
Scott
those
Fish.
onlines. There were a couple of kids. I know Dave. I'm trying to think of from Fantasy Six Pack. His son actually picked CMC first overall at Scott Fish, the live Detroit. And it was cool. I really liked having him there. His Dave Eddy is his name.
Yeah,
And his son was part of that draft. It was fun. I would love to get my daughter into that kind of stuff.
she should. I mean, Scott Fish, his son play, and I do believe they have a division for kids. So she should be in it.
This is my first year. I didn't know a lot about Scott Fish
Yes.
actually. Hmm.
Yes. So his son plays, they have and JC, please, or anybody that knows about that, tell me if I'm wrong. I do believe they have teams for kids as well. So if she wants to play, you can ask Scott about it and maybe she can be in one of the teams there. That's gonna be like great if she's interested in it.
It had to be fun. It would be fun.
Yes. Yeah. That would be awesome. If fantasy football were a video game, what would your special ability be?
The truck stick would definitely be my special ability. Um, I love it when when I'm playing Madden. There's nothing better than when you're on defense and you just go for that big hit. Sometimes I whiff, but most of the time it ends in a fumble. It's fun. Or if you're on the offense and all of a sudden you've got a guy like Najee Harris and it's at the goal line and he truck sticks right through him. It's fun. So if I was a fantasy player, and they had the truck stick, that would be it.
If you could create a fantasy league with historical figures only, who would you let join?
Historical figures, I wouldn't want Einstein, that's for sure.
Oh, why?
I wouldn't. I maybe as a coach, but not a player.
You're ruining the team as a coach for Einstein.
Yeah, I would love a guy like George Washington. I mean, I feel like he'd be a good quarterback. Get guys out there like holy cow, you got me with this one. Um,
Sorry.
no, you're good. Can you imagine some of our previous presidents? I
Oh
would
my
love
God.
to see Gerald Ford out there. He's from U of M. He played football, and holy, like it would be great. I'd love to see
That
it.
was crazy. Shout out to Wendy, my girl. She just came in to say hi to everybody. Shout out to her tonight as well on the Game Changer. Um, if you could relive one fantasy moment forever, which one stays?
It wasn't a fantasy moment, but it was a fantasy. Uh, Jamar Chase's 50-point game. I would relive that over and over and over and over. I wish they had those weekly. I wish they had a wide receiver that could pull out 50-point burgers at least once a week. It would be fun. It would be great. We don't have that, but I would love that game to be over and over and over on my fantasy
Wow.
team.
That's really cool. That's really cool to remember all of this. Um Tell me, Chris, like talking about everything, like from fantasy football to being a soldier. How many times I want to ask as a Navy SEAL, how many times did you like travel overseas? And are you still like a Navy SEAL or just retired?
Well, I was not a Navy SEAL.
Oh,
Though
I thought
that's
you
no that's pretty hardcore. I was an aviation electrician and a aircrew rescue swimmer. So
got it.
I'd fly around on helicopters
Ooh,
quite frequently
nice.
and stuff like that. But I spent I did 2 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, and then
Okay.
I did one Westpac, which is a Western Pacific on the USS Ronald Reagan, and that was fun. We went to Brisbane, Australia, Singapore, Malaysia,
Wow.
Dubai. I was
Dubai is
actually
beautiful.
I was actually in Dubai for quite a while they were in the Persian Gulf. I would fly off every day, and we would just hang out and party at nighttime, and then we'd have to go to work in the morning. So if you've
Yeah.
never been to Dubai, you that's a bucket list place. You have to go.
I agree. I agree. So thank you all for your service. Even JC, he said he was and Wendy's best friend. So oh, but Wendy, she's saying my best friend. I thought that she had another best friend, but JC, yes. Thank you so much for your service, you guys. That was amazing. My friend went to Iraq as well. Jessica Torres. She was talking about going, I think, 3 times to Iraq. She was helping a lot of people. She was on land and go into
Mhm.
houses to help the people there. So it's really hard when you go to a war zone and see a lot going on and come back and see the difference between the country that's at war and not at war. Um, what what changed your perspective when you were going to these places and coming back to the US?
So when you're going to certain war zones, obviously things are there's conflict constantly. When I was over in like Bagram Air Force Base, because I didn't do a lot of stuff on the ship per
Yeah,
se. Being in Airedale, I did a lot of stuff in the air, and over in Jalalabad, uh, then you go to a place like Bahrain. I don't know if you've ever been to Bahrain.
Bahrain. No, I never
Bah-
went to Bahrain, but yes,
Bahrain, yes,
we say
Bahrain, yes.
Bahrain, yes.
But you see the other side of it. You see the people that
Yeah,
they're they're still there. I mean, it's just it's a little small island on the causeway of Saudi Arabia, and they treat you, different. It's a different culture. It's a different custom.
I agree.
When you have to respect their ways, you have to respect their religion, you have to. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it.
Yeah,
You can't just go into a country and not respect their certain customs and things of that nature.
I
But
love
that
that.
being said, I had a lot of friends that I made over there. But it was a blast. Both I'm talking about people in country and as well as friends all over the United States in the Navy. But I've got some friends. They used to work with us at the base, and they're good people. They're out there just like you and I, working and providing for their families. And I think that gets lost in a lot of the translation. You know,
Yeah.
these these people are just everyday people, and they've got families to feed and things like that, and and they care about soccer,
Yes.
which I had to learn.
Which is football in Europe.
And
We say football. We don't say
cricket as
soccer.
well. Cricket was a very was hard to learn, but
Yeah.
they love cricket over there.
Yes. Yes, they do. Not in Lebanon. We love more basketball, like basketball
Okay.
and soccer. It's big in my country. So we do love that. We don't play cricket a lot.
No, no, they
Um,
love it over in Bahrain.
yeah, yeah. They're yeah. Some like watch Indian movies and stuff like that. So they are into this stuff. And cricket is more Indian, I think, and they took it from there. I don't want to finish this episode, Chris, because I'm enjoying my time, but it's over an hour. But do still have like couple questions to ask you. My question is, my first one is, if you could turn any NFL coach into a fantasy player, who would dominate?
Oh well, you've already got one coach that did it. Was Mike Vrabel. That guy is a monster. And then Dan Campbell. It'd be either Dan Campbell or Mike Vrabel. You got one on the offense, one on the defense.
Ooh,
Those guys, those guys. He was huge as a tight end, and he's big now. He's big, brainy, um, and Vrabel is he, yeah. Uh, and he would say "boom" every time he hit somebody. Uh, but I'd love to see Campbell as a fantasy player now.
I love that. One more question, Chris, and this question I ask for all my guests, and they have to answer. So, my question is, if you had a secret, maybe at an early age, or maybe now, who knows? I don't know. You need to share with us, or something that you did maybe at a young age and you never spoke about, that you want to share on the Game Changers tonight with everybody.
Really put me on the spot here.
Definitely.
As a young youth, I don't tell this. This story is not very well known, but I'm the oldest boy cousin of all my cousins, and we went to Little Caesars to pick up pizza one day. I was probably 14, and they were like 11, and they gave us this gift. It was, it came in a package, and I told them it was bubble gum,
What was it though?
and it was really sidewalk chalk. So that's the kind of guy you're dealing with here, a prankster, a jokester. I've never told anybody that story, but
Was
when I was
it?
younger, yep, John and Jesse, shout out to they're twins actually. They're not identical, but they are twins, and I got in some deep doo doo uh, with their mom. Um, but all is well. They grew up to be strapping young men and lives of their own. But I I push the envelope with those guys and watch them chew on some chalk while I was outside drawing, and they realized it, and I got in trouble.
Oh my God, Chris. I love that. Shout out to your cousins. I'm the oldest in both my families. So I'm the oldest too. So I get that. I get that. Chris, before I wrap up, please tell everyone the best way to connect with you online and where they can follow your work.
At on Blue Sky, you can reach me at fflepudge.fantasynowplus.com that you can see right there. I'm on X as well. You can reach me over at fflepudge. There, I'll add you if you add me. If you message me, we'll get to talking. Or on Discord, you can join us on Discord, and we have a bunch of ways to get a hold of us over at fantasynowplus.com.
I love that. Do you have any written work that people can follow that or something that you want um, to shout out before we finish this episode?
If you want to go back to my work on fantasynowplus.com and look at my winners and losers from last year, all of my picks that I made, all of the CD Lamb talk that I trashed at all the Dallas fans said, "Oh no, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread." No, he's not, and he didn't perform like that this year, albeit with an injury. But I told a lot of people in my publications and content over there last spring to be leery of CeeDee Lamb, and that's one of my biggest wins last year. So
Wow,
if you
that
like that kind of stuff, if you want that kind of insight, go check it out on fantasynowplus.com. Just
go
pull up
check
Pudge.
Chris Lapage work, you guys. This is the end of our episode. Chris, say we can talk after. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Game Changers. If today's conversation gave you a fresh perspective on fantasy football or the game of life, do me a favor, drop a comment with your biggest takeaway. I read them all. Mark your calendar and join me next Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time with Scott Hoyt for more game-changing conversations. Big thank you to JC for his behind the scene magic and for the powerhouse team at TSA for making this platform possible. And to everybody in the chat, thank you so much for joining this episode. Subscribe, hit the bell, leave reviews, and follow us on social media. Until next time, keep challenging the game and making your mark. This is Carla and Chris signing off. Have a great evening, everybody.